In this video, we're going to be looking at addition of fractions. Now in this example, I've got three mixed numbers, which we're going to add. All we have to remember is that we treat the whole numbers and the fractions separately. It is possible to convert each of the mixed numbers into top-heavy fractions. However, this will create rather large numbers and create more work. First thing to do is to separate the numbers. So we will take the whole numbers and add those all up. So we've got 1 plus 1 plus 2, which gives us 4, and we'll take the individual fractions down and process them separately. Now, before we begin, it's always worth looking at the actual fractions and checking to see if any of the fractions will simplify. But it's worthwhile checking to see if there's anything there where we can cancel down. Working from left to right, the 3/8, there's nothing we can do with that. 5/16, there's nothing there. However, the 9/24 will cancel down. We'll divide by 3. So 3 into 9 will give us 3, and 3 into 24 will give us 8. So we end up with 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 5/16. Now this is rather handy here because now reduced our problem. We actually have two fractions with the same denomination and also the same numerator as well. So we can simply add these two together. So 3/8 and 3/8, we just simply add the numerators, and this will give us 6/8 plus 5/16. Now we've got a simplest problem. Just rewriting this. 6/8 plus 5/16. So the next thing we do is we need to find the lowest common denominator. In other words, we need to convert all the fractions into the same denomination. The method for finding this is to take each of the denominations, 8 and 16 in this case, and then working from left to right, multiples of each number, starting with 1s, 2s, and 3s, and so on, until a common number appears. So in this case, we'll start with multiples of 1, so 8 is 8, and 16. Multiples of 2 gives us 16 and 32. And straight away now, we can actually see that we've actually got 16 and 16. So that gives us 16 as our lowest common denominator. All we have to do is to take the denomination of each of the two fractions, divide it into the common denominator to convert into 16ths. So 8ths becomes 16ths, so 1/8 would be equal to 2/16. So 8 goes into 16 twice, so we multiply the numerator by the number of times that the denominator goes into the LCD. So that gives us 2 times 6. And 16th goes into 16ths once, so that's simply 1 times 5. So we now have 12/16 plus 5/16. And it's just a simple case now of adding the total numerators together. So we add 12 and 5, which gives us 17/16. 17/16 is a top-heavy fraction, so 16th will go into 17th once, so this will give us 1, with 1 remaining, 1/16. And the final stage is to add the number of total numbers and add them to the whole numbers of the fraction, which will give us 1 plus 4, which equals 5, and 1/16. So to recap, we take our whole numbers and we add them together. 1 plus 1 plus 2 gives us 4. We take the remaining